Hi friends, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and today I want to give a follow-up on the Maestro DMX box. So if you're not familiar, we've reviewed this kind of over the winter when it first came out. We looked at it a few times. And, the biggest thing this winter about this AI-based lighting controller is that yes, it could create a show, and it did create shows, but there were definitely some things that it was missing, that it was really struggling with at that time. And of course, that's the beautiful thing about a new product, especially a Kickstarter one like this, is that, they put out a nice piece of hardware that does everything it needs to. It's been reliable for users, all that jazz. And so that means moving forward, the biggest thing that the team from Maestro DMX can do, and they've had literally no input into these videos. In fact, some of the early ones, I got some comments. But the biggest thing is the software side is something they can improve as they move forward. And as they sell more of them and as it grows, that's something they can always be improving on. And yes, when it comes to software in lighting, I always tell people, like, hey, when you buy a console or something, buy it with the software it has today and be, reasonably happy with that. Because as much as software developers want you to go, oh man, we've got this new feature, it's going to come soon, whatever, like software development, the timelines are always so tough to nail down. And I've been doing this long enough and working with manufacturers and whatnot long enough to go, okay, until you have a feature that's actually fully working, just don't pay attention to the manufacturer's promises on it because they may be way off. It may be that the feature is way harder. It may fall off their roadmap. They may decide it's less important. And so you always, when you buy something, are like, okay, I need to take it as it is today and be okay with it. And if the team's promising things in the future, awesome. But until I see them, at least in a solid, pretty stable beta, I'm just not going to believe them, right? So that's where we stand on the Maestro DMX. So since January, they've done a few really, really important things that I want to show you today, how it responds to live music, so that you can understand a little bit better if it's right for you. And we're not even a dealer for Maestro DMX. They don't have dealers. They just sell it direct. This is just our opinion. So the first thing they did, which I think was really, really key, is with their audio, they made it so that you can use these. So this is just a USB audio interface. Pretty much all of them work. And I can now plug this directly in, and this is just a measurement microphone. And I can plug this into the Maestro. And this helps so much because essentially this isolates the ground loop potential in the audio, whereas when I was using it before with the RCA jacks and connecting it to my mixer and all that, I constantly was really fighting ground loop type stuff. And that was one of the things that the team came back to me after my first videos and was like, hey, this is kind of problematic. And let me just plug this audio interface in. And I was like, well, hey, this is what normal users run into, so I have to show it, right? So I just plugged in, and I've got this measurement mic plugged in, and I just want to walk you through that real quick. So what you're going to see is you can go up here to the audio, actually system audio, and you can see what it's getting, right? So now I can see, okay, is it turned down? No, it's set to the line input, so I got to set it to that, but it showed up right away. Didn't have to reboot it or anything, which is great. I may have to reboot it quick. So hang on just a minute there. And so while I do that, the first thing I'll do is just reconnect to the network, when it pops up. It has a really nice indicator light on the audio jack side that shows you when it's ready, when it's not, when it's booting, which is super cool. I'll just reconnect in here once it comes back up, pretty quick. And then we should be good to go. I don't know. That might have been all me. Regardless, yeah, I tried to connect too soon. Come on, audio. So we should be reconnecting in just a second. Yep, and now we see our visualizer starting to do some stuff, which means it's seeing things, so I just gotta wait for its network to be happy. Yeah. So as you can see here, now, whatever it was, I don't know, it might have been my audio interface, but a quick reboot fixed it, so I'm not too worried there. The cool thing is that now it really shows us a lot about the audio, and it's auto gaining it, which is cool. I'm just going to turn down the actual input. And it shows us the activity level of the audio it's hearing as well, which is super nice too. And so that's something to be aware of just as well. So looking at all of that, and I got to make sure I'm routing everything correctly. I think I am. Let's go ahead and look at how it responds. So essentially you have this show tab here, and you basically, you know, where it's not like, I think when people think AI-based lighting control, they're like, plug it in and just go, and it's just going to choose whatever it wants. It does that and it doesn't do that. So what it does do is it really does a good job of, once you've set like an activity level, basically like a level of energy and the type of lighting that it is, it really does a good job of making effects and patterns with that and following the music. Now, does it follow the music exactly as it happens? No, it can't predict the future. It takes a second or two to transition. And at the end of the video, I'll talk more about the kind of applications that I think this is perfect for now, and the type of things that I think it'll be perfect for in the future as it gets better. But let's just go ahead. I'm on the YouTube Creator Studio, and I'm going to play some tracks here. So I'm going to mute this mic and play Alexander by Micah Edwards, which I've never heard. And I'm going to make sure my measurement mic is, which yes, I'm a hot mess sometimes, is pointing towards my speakers here, and just show you what it does, give you an idea of what it does, and also switch through some of these scenes here on the screen as we do that.
Alexander, you're looking for who you are. Try to find it by giving away your heart. So you bought a one-way ticket to California, 'cause nobody here was ready to win it for you. And I know, yes I know.
All right, so I think that quick test can really show you there's a couple things that are really critical. Like, ultimately, this system, I recommended it the other week to somebody I was on a call with, because like, it's going to excel in those applications either where you have some time to set it up, like setting up these presets you saw. First I started on, I'm not sure what preset I was on, and then I fired a few of them, but I ended up on this one that's described as ambient, still, and still. And that fit the music track really well. And then the patterns it was creating really matched. When it was on something like this one, which was Dance, Dance Still, it was a little too active, I felt, for the music involved. But it's getting faster, it's getting better. And so I think something like this, there's a few things that are really important with an AI-based lighting setup like this, okay? The first is, you know, taking the time to set up your stage and your fixture profiles and getting into the settings of which are primary, secondary, and tertiary, okay? And then basically going ahead and modifying the patterns in the live control section and saving those as sequences that really match what you're looking for is a decent part of getting the most out of it. It's not fully automatic by any means, okay? That being said, I think if you have a rig of lights and you're doing like wedding bands, event rentals, kind of one-off small stage stuff, even a gigging band, something like Maestro can be a really good tool to have something that's better than no light show at all. Like the kind of people that are in small venues where you're like, okay, I don't want to take a lot of time to set something up. I don't want to take a lot of time to do programming, but I just want to have something that is not, you know, just some lights that are on, that's better than that, but something that doesn't look like sound active mode, that has some more intelligence to it. And I think for those kind of applications, basic DJ stuff, etc., this system can work really well. And if you spend the time in getting here to really work on it, I think it can do a really great job at what it's trying to do at running lights live to music. Now, they have added Midi, which can be really helpful if you're running tracks or something like that. The cool thing about Maestro is it can kind of be this middle ground of like, okay, we want some control over our show, and we want to be able to do some kind of programming, but we don't want to really spend the time to have something that's cued out like to the second, like that matches our music perfectly. Because ultimately, I'm not sure that an AI-based tool is ever going to be able to do that. Because in music, you often, in a live band, you often make sudden changes to your music, to the tempo. And that is a powerful thing, and it's awesome, but something like Maestro, something that's AI-based, at least for now, like how is it going to know when you're going to make that pivot in the music, right? It doesn't really know until it happens, so it's always going to be just a little bit behind. That being said, I think it's an excellent tool. I think it's matured significantly in the 7 months since I last really looked at it. And I think there's a lot to come. Like the MIDI control, right now you have to send specific notes to it. I'd like to see MIDI learn where you send it a note and then it learns it and you don't really have to enter all these values and channels and all that stuff. But all that to say, I'm really impressed with Maestro DMX so far. I think it's improved a lot in the last 6-7 months. Is it going to be the thing if you're a band or a DJ or a church and you want lights that are perfectly tuned to your performance? No. I think in that case, for now and into the distant future, like you're always going to want to have something pre-programmed out, because ultimately, as much as AI and these kind of platforms are going to try to anticipate what's coming, there's only a certain amount that you can do that, right? I mean, there's so many options about what could come, and what they kind of do is they do a good job of listening to what happens and responding relatively quickly. And I think that's really cool, and I think it has its place. I think that when people see something like AI Light Show advertised, they think it's, hey, we just plug it in and we get this amazing light show. And maybe we'll get there someday, but at the same time, the hump that I see is that's hard to get over is like, how do you anticipate what's going to happen next? And if the musicians have planned it, then you can pre-program that and create a better show than something like this for those that want a really tight show. But for those who don't, who just are like, hey, I've either just been turning the lights on or I've been putting them in sound active mode, this is a great upgrade to that, where the amount of time, the amount of learning curve that it's going to take to get going is relatively minor. It's pretty small. And what it does is quite impressive for what it is. So keep watching it. Check out the Maestro DMX. Again, we don't sell it. We have no financial interest in Maestro. In fact, we paid to get our box. But I think it's cool. I don't think it's for everyone. I think anybody that says that, including some of their advertising, can sometimes, they need to market well. And I don't think it's for everyone, but I think it's definitely for some people. And so if you enjoyed this video, check out more below. If you like Maestro DMX, maybe you got one and you need a lighting package, Learn Stage lighting gear and Above AVL are your place. Come visit us, let us know what you're looking to do, and we'll help you find an amazing lighting package that matches up perfectly. And if you're interested in something like a pre-programmed lighting package that goes with Maestro DMX, where we've got some presets and everything patched in, send us an email. Go to our contact page on Learn Stage Lighting Gear /Above AVL and let us know, because we might do that if you guys let us know you'd want it. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.